Okay, check 1, 2. Have I got sound? What's happening with this? Is it doing what it's supposed to? I think it is. Looks like it is to me, so we've got sound. And welcome to Free Association. The first podcast I've done from a laptop in a long time. I mostly just use my phone at the moment for these short podcasts. But I wanted to talk about a conversation I had with my kidney consultant last night. So I had to go in early. To my dialysis session is a Wednesday evening usually. I had to go in an hour early and speak to the lady who's the main kidney consultant for me anyway. So I want to talk about that. We might talk a little bit about imagination creates reality. Welcome, Monica. You're welcome to hang around. I'm just chattering to myself at the moment. You're welcome to jump on and have a conversation if you'd like to. There's no particular topic. You can take the topic as imagination creates reality if you want to, but it's not set in stone. You can talk about anything you like, really. So Lynn, my kidney consultant last night, asked me how I'm doing, went through my medications, and she knows I've got a history of turning down medications, so she's not particularly happy about that because I had a problem with my heart, and the doctors prescribed statins and beta blockers. It was a valve issue. I had a valve that was working at 25%, and it was causing a little bit of a problem. And I don't know how much of a problem it was causing, but according to the doctors, it was potentially a problem. So I worked on it myself. I'm a spiritual healer, Reiki master. I do lots of different things, emotional freedom technique, immunics, you name it, I probably do it. Sedona method. I'm not trained in anything except Reiki, really, but I do all the other things as well. I've trained myself in immunics because you can train yourself in immunics. You can train, well, I was shown how to do emotional freedom technique 25 years ago, nearly, at least 20 years ago, by a hypnotherapist in a place in Hertfordshire. I can't remember exactly where he lived, but I went out to do a coaching session for him. I was calling it cash flow activation at the time, which was a lead generation meditation, basically a visualization that produces potential customers, which sounds ridiculous, but he was a hypnotherapist, so he knew that that sort of thing is possible, and he was prepared to pay me for it. So I went along, I gave him the session, and the following day he got a client, or he got a lead at least, which he hadn't had any leads from his newspaper advertising for a long time. He'd been monitoring on a spreadsheet or whatever the amount of leads he was getting, and it wasn't any leads basically from his newspaper advertising, but he got a potential lead the following day. So he was happy. He gave me £100 for that. I think I charged him £100 or 150 because it's coaching, so that's what coaching costs, and he's happy to pay it because that's what he charges his clients. So that's where I learned emotional freedom technique, was from, can't remember his name now. When I'm thinking about it, I really can't remember his name. Nice fella though, decent fella. So I do quite a lot of things anyway. So I was working on the heart issue with mostly immunics, some Reiki, but mostly immunics. And it went from 25% to 52%. So it was working at 52%. I went back to the cardiologist. The cardiologist told me it was working at 52%, and he basically didn't want to see me again. And I told him I wasn't taking the beta blockers and the statins, so he could take those off the prescription, which is fair enough. I'm allowed to make my own decisions about my own body, ultimately. Although doctors don't seem to like that very much. They like to be in control because it makes their job easier. But it's my body, my choice. Ultimately, I decide what I put into it and what I do with it. All right, so the conversation last night was specifically about my kidneys. So I've been on dialysis for a year and 3 months now. And when I first started dialysis, I couldn't really walk very far at all. I could barely stand up because I'd lost so much muscle mass on my legs that I couldn't carry my own body weight. And now I'm walking again, walking a reasonable distance and carrying my own body weight on a regular basis, should we say. So my mobility's improved markedly. So the consultant's going to put me forward for some tests to see how suitable I am for a kidney transplant, because they need to make sure that there's blood supply that they can hook into and hook the kidney into before they can do the transplant, obviously. And I have to have another assessment for anaesthetic. So she's going ahead with that. She was a little bit concerned that I refuse tablets now and again because there's going to be a lot of tablets if I have a kidney transplant. So she obviously doesn't want me refusing those, which I wouldn't refuse those anyway. She's creating a problem that doesn't exist really, because those are necessary if I want to not be on dialysis and have a working kidney. Then I have to take the tablets that are mostly to suppress my immune system. I don't like the idea of suppressing my immune system, but it has to be done. I suppose that's what Immunix does in a sense anyway. But I told her I've been working on my kidneys. I've been working on the left kidney specifically. And she says to me that the blood tests that they do don't show any major improvement, any kind of improvement. So what I'm sensing with my intuitive, with my dowsing, doesn't seem to be coming up as a medical test yet. If it ever does, I don't know. I may come to the conclusion that it's not going to work for the kidneys, but it worked for the heart. So I don't see why it shouldn't work for the kidneys really, but it might just take a long, long time. I don't know. So I'm debating whether to carry on working on the left kidney or whether to work on them both, or whether to just let it be and accept the kidney transplant. I think I might just let it be and accept the kidney transplant at this point, because I'm going to have to get used to the idea, and I've got about a year probably, maybe a bit more, to get used to the idea of a 5-hour operation and a new kidney. So I don't know how it'll all go, but we'll see. It's all in the that's all in the future. At the moment, it's just like the next set of tests and an assessment for anaesthetic, which I've had before, which is fine. It's easy enough. So we'll see where it all goes. Anyway, I think that's probably everything I wanted to say. So I'm gonna wrap that up at this point, and I'll see you again soon. I'm doing a show this afternoon with Lenny Time, so I'll post that on YouTube when we've done that. Well, it'll be live on YouTube this afternoon. But until then, I shall say good morning, good evening, and thanks for listening.